Good morning, friends. Friends, I am your registered teacher, Mr. Swain. Welcomes you back to the GYANJYOTI online classes. Students, in the previous video, I have made a video about the chapter number 7 from section Geography, India, Location and Physical Features. Students, that part was the part 1. Today we will study the part 2, means the rest of the chapter. We will cover the rest of the chapter. Students, in the first video or the part 1, what we studied? About the location, where India is located, what is the position, what is the coordinates, means the latitudes, longitudes, position. What are the different relief features of our country? It may be the mountains, plateaus, plains and different areas, how it is diversified. Then students, next is went through the different states and union territories. That students, I have told you that how many states are there, students? There are 28 states and 9 union territories. Students, how? There are 29 states, but Jammu and Kashmir has been divided into 2 union territories. So Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, these were the 2 new union territories. Students, then we studied about the mountains, the great mountains, that India has been divided into 5 physical divisions. The first one was the northern Himalayas, the northern mountains, that is called the Himalayas. So students, you know that the Himalayas are the highest mountain chain of the world, or in the world. They are the most spectacular of the world's mountains, and it consists of 3 parallel ranges. The first one is Himadri, second one is Himachal, and third one is the Shivalik. Students, then this was all about the mountains. The next physical division we will study in this chapter is the Great Plains. That is the Great Plains. Students, plain means normal area which we are living and what is most economical in terms of human settlement, in terms of business, in terms of economy. The northern fertile plains are the most important region of India, lying south of the Himalayas. Students, the northern fertile plain, they are situated in the south of the Himalayas. These alluvial plains are the most fertile and extensive plains in the world. They mainly cover the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, then West Bengal and Bihar. Students, these plains, they mainly cover the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal and Bihar. They are formed by Indus, Ganga and the Brahmaputra river system. Students, these plain areas are very fertile due to this presence of perennial rivers like the Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Students, the river in North India have their sources from the glaciers in the Himalayas. Students, you know glaciers, snow-covered mountains, always they are covered with snow. So they have the source in the Himalayas. Students, the Gangotri glacier, I am giving an example, it is a source of the river Ganga, the most holiest river considered in the world. Rivers are considered very important in India because as the majority of people are farmers here, most of the people here do agriculture, cultivation purpose. They are, our country is an agricultural country, so the rivers are the main source of water. For hundreds of years, massive empires and regional kingdoms arose in these regions. A large number of traders and invaders came to these lands, and many of them decided to stay on permanently. It is today among the most densely populated parts of the country. Students, now we will study about the river systems, that how rivers affect the life of the common people of our country. It is the Great Plains. Students, what happens? The Ganga starts from Gangotri glacier in Uttarakhand. As I have told you that the river Ganga starts from the Gangotri glacier in Uttarakhand. It flows southeastwards for nearly 2,400 kilometers. Friends, flows 2,400 kilometers, nearly the southeastwards. It is joined by the Brahmaputra near Dhaka in Bangladesh. Students, look, the river flows through Bangladesh and it joins the river Bangladesh and to form the largest delta in the world, that is called the Sundarbans. Students, it joins with Brahmaputra in Bangladesh to form world's largest delta, that is called the Sundarbans. Then students, its major tributary, the Yamuna, starts nearly 100 kilometers to its east and to its west and runs parallel to it for most of its course before joining it in Allahabad. Students, Allahabad is famous for the Sangam. So what is Sangam? Students, three rivers. One from Ganga, one is Ganga, second one is Yamuna, third one is Saraswati river. The three rivers join in a single place, that is called Allahabad. A large number of tributaries join the Ganga and drain the northern part of India. And students, that Indus and its tributaries flow through India and Pakistan before joining or before flowing into the Arabian Sea. Students, all the rivers they flow into the oceans and seas. It was here that the Harappan civilization of the Bronze Age and its well-organized life in towns existed. 4,500 years ago, students, we know that the Indus River, due to the river Indus, the civilization was known India's oldest civilization. 4,500 years ago. 4,500 years ago. Then further east lies the Brahmaputra valley, and the Brahmaputra starts from near Lake Mansarovar. Students, we have studied about Ganga. It begins from Gangotri glacier, and we have studied about Indus. Now we will study about the Brahmaputra. So it starts from near a lake in Mansarovar in Tibet, and it is called the Shangpo. In Tibet, the Brahmaputra river is known as Shangpo. When it comes to India, it is known as the Brahmaputra. It covers a distance of 2,500 kilometers. Students, the Brahmaputra it covers for about 2,500 kilometers. 2,500 kilometers. Flowing close to the Indian and Nepalese borders and takes a sharp turn in the northeastern part of India. Students, it flows through Indo-Nepal border, but in an area in northeast part of our country, it enters into our country. So it then gathers speed flowing through Assam before joining the Ganga. It enters into Assam and it joins Ganga in Bangladesh, that I have told you, near Dhaka in Bangladesh. So it carries the largest volume of water of the rivers in the subcontinent. In the rainy season, it floods much of the Assam valley, providing water to the farmers for irrigation. Then students, these three rivers, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra, form the largest delta, that is the Sundarban delta that I have told you. Both river Indus and Brahmaputra rise beyond Himalayas in Tibet, in near Mansarovar lake. The former flows towards northwestward to Pakistan, then into Arabian Sea, and the second one flows eastwards towards Bangladesh and falls into the Bay of Bengal. Okay, students, then we will move to the next subtopic, that is student about the students. The next subtopic is the Thar Desert or the Great Indian Desert. Students, it is a vast sandy desert lying to the southwest of the fertile northern plains of the Ganga and Yamuna. Students, river Sutlej forms the northwestern boundary of the desert. To its south lies the salty marsh known as the Ran of Kutch, in Gujarat, and the Aravallis run in a north-south direction on the eastern edge of the desert. Students, the Thar desert is situated in Rajasthan. It is spread over 805 kilometers and is located in the state of, mainly the state of Rajasthan. Temperatures here rise as high as 52.8 degrees Celsius. Students, look, 52.8 degrees Celsius, 8 degrees Celsius in June, July. It is a region of constantly shifting sand dunes with sparse vegetation. In some parts of the desert, land has been reclaimed for agriculture with better irrigation facilities. Students, then the Great Plateau. We'll study the next subtopic is the Great Plateau. Students, what are plateaus? The Great Plateau. Students, the Great Plateau of peninsular India is made up of old rocks. Students, plateau, what is a plateau? Plateau is a little upland area which is more than a plain and less than a mountain. A little highland, you can see, little a bit higher place. It is an average height of 300 to 1800 above sea level. Above sea level. The Vindhyas separate the Gangetic plains from the peninsular plateau. The Malwa plateau extends north of the Vindhyas with Aravallis forming its northwestern edge. The Narmada flows east to west between the Vindhyas and the Satpuras. The Chotanagpur plateau lies to the east of the Vindhyas. Students, look, there in this topic, some of the name of the plateaus are given. That I will write here. First of all is the Malwa plateau. Deccan plateau. These are some of the plateaus of our country. Then students, the vast plateau of the Deccan is a large triangular plateau and lies in the southern part of our peninsular India. It is tableland bounded by the Satpura range, the western Ghats and the eastern Ghats with an average elevation of about 600 meters. Students, Deccan plateau situated in the southern part of our country has an average elevation of 600 meters. Students, there are 6 large rivers flowing through it. So what are the 6 large rivers, students, in this plateau region? We will study here. So what are the rivers? First one is, students, Narmada, Godavari, Mahanadi, students, then Krishna, Kaveri, and Tapti. Students, then these are seasonal rivers that carry a lot of water in the rainy season but are almost dry during the rest of the year. Students, due to the high temperature in the summer season, some areas are remaining dry. Much of the mineral wealth of India is found in this region, mineral resources. And in the central part of the plateau, there is rich black soil which can retain water. Students, soils are also different types. In your higher classes, you will study different types of soil: black soil, red soil, alluvial soil, mountainous soil. So then black soil has the power to retain water. Students, then the plateau tapers to the east. The eastern Ghats are low hills at the eastern edge of the plateau. The western side is sharp elevations called the Sahyadris or the western Ghats. Students, these are the mountains, small mountains, which are a long and continuous hill range bordering western coastline of India. Students, the western Ghats run from the western coastline of India. Next, students, this region is historically very important. Why? It was in this region that kingdoms of the early Hindus arose. The Marathas built a huge forts and great temples in the Western Ghats. Students, Western Ghats are a range of mountain ranges. Tipu Sultan founded grand cities like Srirangapatnam and carved beautiful palaces. And world heritage sites like the Ajanta and Ellora caves made by the Buddhist monks are located in this Western Ghats. So students, therefore Western Ghats has a lot of historical. Students, next subtopic here is coastal plains. Students, in the first video, the part 1 of the video, students, I want to tell you that we have studied that Indian coastline including the islands is 7,500 kilometers long, means 7,500 kilometers long, and the coastal plains lie between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. It lies between the Arabian Sea and the Western Ghats. Students, one more thing I have also told you that the state of Gujarat in our country has the largest coastline. Some of the coastal states or all the coastal states of our country are, let's start from Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, West Bengal, etc. etc. So students, these are the coastal states, and mainly the coastal plains lie between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea in the west. The western coast is long and narrow and extends from Kanyakumari to the Gulf of Kutch in Gujarat. The coast in Kerala and Karnataka is called the Malabar coast. Students, just look. The coast in Kerala and Karnataka is known as the Malabar coast, and it is very fertile. The Malabar coast is unique with its calm beaches and peaceful stretches of backwaters. Students, the backwaters of Kerala are very famous. The Konkan coast in Maharashtra is rocky. The Ran of Kutch in Gujarat is a low-lying salty marsh with seawater flooding the land for most of the year. Students, it is salty marsh where seawater covers mostly on all times of the year. To the east is a broad alluvial coastal plain of the Sirkas and the Coromandel. The Coromandel coast is low and sandy with no natural harbors. Students, the Coromandel coast is low and sandy, and it has no natural harbors. Artificial harbors are situated there. The land here is fertile and is used for rice cultivation. Students, if you go to South India, then you can see rice cultivation in large numbers. And the peninsular rivers have the delta in these plains. In ancient times, many port towns came up at the mouths of these rivers, where traders used to stop on their way from North India to South, and they go back. Students, due to the situation, due to the location of the ports, it is easier for trading purpose. Very different traders from different countries, they always visit India and they stay in these ports, they move, they have easy accessible for our country. There are large populations of fishermen living in these coastal areas. Students, as you know, this is the obvious thing. In coastal areas we can see large numbers of fishermen. The sea is a predominant factor in the life of the people living by the seaside, because they earn their livelihood by buying and selling fish and different seafoods. Arab Portuguese traders have visited the coast for centuries. Dutch, French, Britishers have also visited. They visited India through this coastline because in ancient times there was no roadways, no airways, only the sea coast or the sea routes was the only option to move from one place to another, different countries, to move to different foreign countries. This helped to develop towns and cities of this region, and by trade only they have developed. And the accounts of these traders are invaluable sources of information about the areas. And the port towns were important trade centers. And because of the visit of different traders to our countries, different types of spices, textiles, ornaments, this was the big markets, and therefore the South Indian towns are famous for this type of things or items, which is already being sold now, and so, and in the ancient times also they were being marketed. Students, then next, the last subtopic is in your chapter India location and physical features is the islands. Students, what is an island? What is an island, students? If a land mass is covered by water by all the sides. Students, what is peninsula? I have told you in the previous video, in the part 1 of the video, that if a land mass is covered by three sides by water, it is called peninsula, which is our South India. But if a land is covered by water from all the sides, example Sri Lanka, Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Australia is an island continent, that is called an island. So, students, the group of islands in the Bay of Bengal, we will talk about our country, is known as the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These are the group of islands, some of which are volcanic. Volcanic mountains, students, I have told you yesterday in the class, volcanic mountains. Then the islands in the Arabian Sea are known as Lakshadweep and are on a coral deposit. So, coral are the sea vegetation you can see you may have seen in television. Students, in the eastern side of our country, in the Bay of Bengal, there is the Andaman Nicobar Islands. In the Arabian Sea, on the western part of our country, we have Lakshadweep Islands, and they both are part of our country. They are the union territories, and they both are an important integral part of our country, India. Students, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands chain lie to the east of the mainland of the Bay of Bengal, in the Bay of Bengal that I have told you. The Andamans are, students, generally hilly and are heavily forested. Students, the Andamans are generally hilly areas and they are heavily forested. You can find lots of forest cover there. Much was not known about them due to inaccessibility. Students, you know that Andaman and Nicobar Islands are situated very far away from our country. Therefore, it is inaccessible. You don't have roads to go there. Either you have to go by airways or by ships or by sea routes. Political leaders and criminals were deported to the infamous cellular jail at Port Blair during the British period, that was known as the Kalapani. Students, we have seen in television and you may have studied in history that in the time of the Britishers, when they were ruling our country, they were sending the criminals to that cellular jail that is very famous, situated in Port Blair. That was known as the Sajai Kalapani because it was so far away from our country that one can't swim and one can't escape from that prison. Therefore, they were keeping the criminals, dangerous criminals there. The local inhabitants are tribals, mostly tribals, who have a unique lifestyle which is in harmony with nature. The efforts made by the government towards progress have led to the tribes becoming a minority in their own land. Students, most of the people are tribal there, and the efforts are being made to give all the facilities and to provide all the facilities of a citizen residing in a country. Then students, the coral islands of Lakshadweep are located off India's southwest coast and are a great tourist attraction. Students, there is an island called Havelock Islands that I have studied in the internet. Yeah, there is not given in a textbook. I have to know that is situated in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and it is very famous tourist spot. The coral islands of Lakshadweep are located off India's southwest coast and are a great tourist attraction. Many tourists visit there. The lifestyle and occupations of people revolve around coconut cultivation, coir, matting and fishing. Students, the major occupation of the people of Lakshadweep are coconut cultivation. Students, in these coastal areas we can see coconut trees in large numbers. They often sell coconuts, the coconut water, and that they peel the coconut that is used for different purposes and the coir matting and fishing. Fishing is one of the major occupations of the people of Andaman as well as Lakshadweep. Even today nothing is actually produced in the islands and everything comes from the mainland India. That is India. Students, due to its geographical location of Lakshadweep, most of the things come from India. The wealth of a person is still assessed by the number of coconut trees he owns. Students, in the earlier times, what was happening that the people who had the large number of cows, they were considered very rich. And in Lakshadweep, the people who have large number of coconut trees. Students, now what I have told you that in ancient times, in earlier times, what was happening that in a particular society, especially when the Hindu people were staying, a person having the number of cows, large number of cows, he was considered the richest person. So in the same way, likewise, the person having the most numbers of coconut trees in Lakshadweep, especially, the wealth of a person is still accessed by the number of coconut trees he owns. So this is you can say this is a custom or a tradition in the island of Lakshadweep. Students, they don't have so many industries or nothing is there, so what the people are getting that is coming from the mainland India. Next, students, the languages spoken there and the lifestyle of the people of the islands are the same as those of Kerala. Means Malayalam. Malayalam is the local language of the state of Kerala, and Lakshadweep is closest to the mainland. That is the nearest state of Lakshadweep is Kerala. Therefore, the languages spoken there is the Malayalam languages. Students, so this was the end of your topic. So at a glance, students, in the last part of the chapter that is written here at a glance, with some points are given, notes you can see. India is formed of 29 states and 7 union territories. It is wrong, students. You have to rectify it. India is a country having 28 states and 9 union territories. What I have taught you in the first video, please rectify it. Then the next one is given. The major physical features of India are mountains, plateaus, plains, coastal areas and islands. Yes, it's true. India has a large variety of soils to grow different types of crops. Students, what I have told you in your higher classes, I think particularly in class 9th and 10th standard, you will study types of soils. What are the different types of soils in our country, which helps different types of plantation and vegetation grow. Next one, the Kanchenjunga is the highest peak of the Himalayas in India. Yes, it's true. Kanchenjunga in the Himalayas is the highest mountain peak in India. But Mount Everest is the highest mountain peak of the world. It is situated in Nepal, not in India. So students, this was the topic all about. So let me revise. This is a very big chapter, and the last one also, students. There are some maps given, but this I will show you. So this is the political map of our country, India. Students, Jammu and Kashmir is divided into two parts. The first one is Jammu and Kashmir, the second one is Ladakh. That is 2 union territories, and these are the different states our Odisha is here. Then students, this is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Just look. This is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands situated in the Bay of Bengal, eastern side of India. This is the Lakshadweep Islands, which is situated near the nearest state to the mainland. Our country is Kerala. Students, China is one side, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, these are our neighboring countries. And on the other side it is Pakistan and Afghanistan. The southernmost neighbor is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is the southernmost neighbor. Students, next map here is the physical map. Students, here you can see the physical map of our country. Different rivers, ranges, deserts. If you see this, you can't understand. You have to physically see a map, political physical map. Then only you can understand. Then students, this was the chapter all about. And we covered first of all the location of our country, India, and then it was the number of states and union territories what we have studied. Then we studied about the different physical divisions. The first one was, students, the mountains, northern mountains, that is Himalayas. Then it was the Great Plains. Then it was the Thar Desert. Then it was Great Plateaus. The second last was the coastal plains, and the last, but not the least, was the islands. The islands which are the part of our mainland India, but they are situated on different directions and different oceans. The first one is Lakshadweep and second one is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Students, this was all about your topic, all about the S.St. and the chapter I end here. It is a part 2 of the video, part 2 of the chapter India, location and physical features. Students, I have always repeated that please refer to the book while you are watching the video. So for today, students, I say goodbye, bid goodbye to all of you students. We'll meet in the next class with question and answers section. We'll start the once again the subject. So for today students, thank you, goodbye.